Hi, my name is Katie McKenzie. I'm a senior.
Madison Kennedy, and I'll be a junior this year. First, I was definitely really scared because all my friends from high school knew exactly what they wanted to do. Like, not anyone else was undecided. And then a lot of the people that I met at orientation at Tulane were pretty much decided as well. So I was a little bit nervous that I was gonna fall behind or anything like that. But once I picked out my classes at orientation and then actually got to school and started just trying out a bunch of classes like psychology and chemistry and just stuff that did not relate to each other, I was able to see like what I actually liked and what didn't work for me, while also completing some graduation requirements, which I feel like ended up being like the best option for me in the end.
Yeah, so political science I declared pretty early on, and then I kind of realized since I declared it early on that I had room for a second major. So I started taking sociology, philosophy, other kind of liberal arts classes that I thought would complement political science. So then I ended up taking a few philosophy classes and I really liked them. So that became my second major during my sophomore year.
At orientation, I briefly thought I wanted to be pre-med, but then I quickly decided that I didn't want to do that. I know that's not a major, but I kind of thought I wanted to go on that track. And then I took Intro to Psychology, was my very first class freshman year, and I loved it. So that's actually where I ended up. But I also briefly thought about doing Spanish as my major, which is now a minor. So I'm still on the Spanish track. And I think that was it. As soon as I took psychology, I knew that's what I wanted to do.
Do you remember what it was about that first class that made you go into it?
I think it was just, I had Dr. Fabian and she was awesome. I took her again last year because she's probably my favorite teacher I've had at Tulane. But also, it was kind of just something that I'd never experienced before because I never took psychology in high school. And it was interesting to see how the mind is working because it's just a general overview. So then as I've taken more psychology classes, I've gotten to see child psychology, abnormal psychology, which gets a little bit deeper. But my first class was just a general overview of how we function, which I thought was really interesting.
I think I just had really great classes with really great professors. Through the classes I took, I felt like I learned a lot from them, and it kind of inspired me to keep wanting to learn more within those majors. So yeah, it was really all about the professors.
That's a good question. I think Dr. Fabian definitely did because I loved her class a lot. And then in all of our meetings when we were talking about because I had always just kind of thought that I wanted to do something that I was sure I'm not really sure it was sure it would get me somewhere after graduation, even though that sounds like not a great reason. But then I think you told me, and my parents told me, look at what your favorite class is so far. My favorite class by far was psychology. And then I've also opened my eyes to how many different options that'll give me in terms of post-grad. So
I saw my academic advisor a lot, just to kind of talk about, when I would decide to add a second major, I talked to him about whether or not that was possible with my schedule. Yeah, so before I came into Tulane in high school, I volunteered on a campaign, and I did sort of a city council simulation in my town hall. So that kind of inspired me, just having experience in politics inspired me to declare political science. So yeah, I'd say internships, volunteer opportunities could definitely help you pick your major.
I am really interested in child psychology because in high school I was always I was a summer camp counselor, and then I was a tutor at elementary schools and stuff. So that had always kind of been in the back of my mind that I wanted to work with kids. And then I think there was 1 or 2 chapters in Intro to Psychology about child psychology, which kind of sealed the deal that this is what I want to be doing because it seemed super interesting to me. So I took the CRDV class. I can't remember the actual name of it.
Yeah, Teachers, Internships, and Jobs class.
Yes. Yeah. So I took that second semester, freshman year, because one of my best friends had taken it first semester and she was also undecided and said it really helped her. So I tried it out because it was only like once a week, and it actually like showed me how many different, I think that's when I realized how many options there were for psychology jobs, and just like, even if you don't end up doing a job directly related to psychology, there's so much else you can use it for. And I think that's when I finally realized that I can be doing something that I love while also like being set for graduation and stuff.
What I did, and I wish I hadn't done, was I felt the need to get all of my core requirements out of the way by the end of my freshman year, which I did, and it was great. Because I'm not taking a lab science as a senior or anything, but I wish I just would have taken classes, instead of going so by the book, I wish I would have just taken classes that sounded more interesting. Just, if you see a class that sounds interesting, just take it. The worst you can do is get out of it after a week if you don't like it. I didn't realize this until later on, but always go to your professor's office hours and try to meet with them outside of class. Just simply asking what they're working on can open a lot of doors for you. That's how I became close to a lot of my professors. I just went to their office hours and I just asked what they were doing research on, and they love to share their work with you, with other students.
Take all different classes. My freshman year I took, I think, 5 or 6 classes per semester, and every single one was in a different subject, which I'm so glad I did, because I got to see so many different types of classes. And even if you don't end up loving all the classes, which I definitely didn't, it shows you what you don't like too. So you know that it's not in the back of your mind like, oh, maybe I should have tried that, because you know that you don't like it. So it's not a waste of your time.